For some years now, we're dealing with more and more disasters worldwide. We're seeing that there are more people being affected by more disasters every year. And on the other hand, there are more and more humanitarian agencies with more knowledge and skills and tools. So there's the opportunity to tackle the problem of a growing number of disasters. The key to getting this right is effective collaboration between humanitarian response agencies.
The whole idea of ECB is to improve the speed, quality and effectiveness of emergency responses through collaboration.
Over a 5-year period, focusing on these 3 objectives and 3 themes.
We were thrilled when we discovered that Bangladesh would be chosen as one of the priority countries. Consortium engagement plan, which gave us our roadmap of what we wish to accomplish.
This planning workshop seeks to identify the activities we're going to do. It sets priorities and it sets timelines and which organisation is going to take responsibility for which activity.
Capacity building is a key for organizations, certainly in the field of disaster management. We have been able to conduct a number of trainings as well as simulations and lessons learned workshops. We've agreed upon joint curriculums in terms of training programs. So then everybody's getting the same message. CBHA coming forward with 2 sort of training sessions, core skills and management and leadership. It's based on a competency framework that the CBHA have drafted and that the CBHA agencies have agreed upon, which now ECB has sort of taken on board. The participants have been to varying management levels within the organizations. We were looking at trying to involve more women in the field of disaster management. One of the key activities we will be doing is repeating the CBHA core skills and management and leadership programs. This year it's called Enhance, enhancing the skills that were developed last year and increasing them to be, especially the female participants, to be more in a management and leadership role when it comes to disaster response and disaster management. Through these sort of different activities, local partners, everybody is now more aware that whenever we do an emergency response, we need to have minimum standards.
First thing that we did was to discuss and have an organizational level commitment, senior management commitment towards accountability. Good Enough Guide, which is kind of developed by Emergency Capacity Building Project globally to help the field staff with easy tools and methodologies to work on beneficiary accountability.
Good Enough Guide কিভাবে স্বচ্ছতা আনয়ন করা যায়, কিভাবে জবাবদিহিতা করা যায়, এটা খুব ভালো।
We did the Good Enough Guide translation in Bangla, and then we have developed a TOT module for all the national and international staffs. We developed some training materials and IC materials to help the field staffs to implement beneficiary accountability and impact measurement using Good Enough Guide. Because of the translated version that we have in Bangla, our staffs have been able to use it very frequently. As a result of ECB, there is an increased understanding and commitment towards beneficiary accountability. The most important future plan that we have is that the consortium self-assessments would be reviewed on the accountability component and then identify the gaps on accountability within the organization, and we would finalize a future plan or improvement plan on beneficiary accountability in Bangladesh.
assessment and accountability are closely connected. We were also inspired by the work that ECB was doing globally in partnership with ACAPS.
For ACAPS, ECB is a really logical and good partner to have at the country level. We believe better assessments should bring about better aid, better response.
ECB started really thinking seriously about joint needs assessments with the scoping study that we conducted to understand the situation relating to assessments in Bangladesh. And with the waterlogging situation in the southwest, we then followed ECB protocols around initiating a response and determined that this would be an appropriate time to undertake a joint needs assessment.
বিভিন্ন সময় বিভিন্ন অর্গানাইজেশন ইন্ডিভিজুয়াল তাদের রিপোর্ট দিচ্ছিল, তবে সেখানে দেখা গেল কি কোনো রিপোর্টের সাথে কোনো রিপোর্টের তেমন মিল নাই। তখন আমরা ফিল করলাম যে একটা জয়েন্ট নিড অ্যাসেসমেন্ট করা দরকার।
We reached out to as many NGOs as we could. We reached out to UN agencies and other stakeholders, and we involved them in the planning meetings. We involved them in the actual carrying out of the assessments, and we also coordinated closely with stakeholders to make sure that the findings were complementary and didn't duplicate.
Joint need assessment in the waterlog area. It's a very successful and remarkable work that they did.
যে কাজটা ইসিবি করলো তালাতে সাতক্ষীরা ওয়াটার লগিং এর ব্যাপারে অনেকগুলো এনজিও মিলে অ্যাসেসমেন্টটা করলো, এর গ্রহণযোগ্যতা সব জায়গাতে অনেক বেশি হচ্ছে।
And this was really a learning by doing exercise. We went through the needs assessment and we then held reflection workshop. We've identified a number of areas that we can work on, such as putting together a toolbox that can be flexible, that can be used in emergencies, ensuring the capacity of staff across the agencies is developed and is ready, and some of the coordination aspects to bringing more stakeholders together. And to do this, we're planning to bring together an assessment working group.
Will really put Bangladesh on the right track. I think it has the possibility to be a real leader in sort of showing the way in terms of how these joint assessments can be done.
We are coming together. We are certainly, working with the government in terms of changing or trying to influence some change in policies.
We're able to put our voice much more strongly. It's not just Oxfam or Save the Children who's speaking about these issues, but a coalition.
সাইক্লোন আইলার আমরা খুব দ্রুত ইসিবির যে অর্গানাইজেশনগুলো আছে সবাই একসাথে হই। আমরা যে অ্যাডভোকেসি স্ট্র্যাটেজি ঠিক করেছি সেটার মূল ফোকাসটা হলো যে যারা অ্যাফেক্টেড পিপল তাদের রাইটস এবং তাদের সাফারিংস কিভাবে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কমিউনিটির কাছে তুলে ধরা যায় খুব দ্রুত। আমরা যেটা ফলাফল দেখেছি সেটা হলো যে গভর্নমেন্ট অ্যালোকেশন বেড়ে গেছিল, এমব্যাঙ্কমেন্ট রিপেয়ারিং এর ক্ষেত্রে এবং অন্যান্য ডোনারের রিসোর্স অনেক বেশি বেড়ে গেছিল।
The whole Disaster Management Act is something that government's been struggling with for a long while now, and it's something that I think all the actors recognise as a really key part of improving Bangladesh's response in disasters.
আমাদের মূল অ্যাডভোকেসি স্ট্র্যাটেজি হলো যে ডিজাস্টার ম্যানেজমেন্ট অ্যাক্টকে যত দ্রুততম সময়ে বাংলাদেশে একটা লিগ্যাল ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট হিসাবে আবির্ভূত হতে পারে।
Attention has already been drawn to many stakeholders, that is the advocacy in creating an atmosphere where there will be pressure on to the various stakeholders into giving their attention to enactment of disaster management law, regulation, all these things. Media awareness and media sensitization campaign is a very important one, and in this regard ECB has done a great and a remarkable job.
This Act has now been considered and approved by Cabinet for submission to Parliament. Of course, we want to ensure the Disaster Management Act is passed, that people are fully aware of it at every level, and that the subsidiary legislation, the rules under that Act, are appropriate and are passed in a timely manner.
Challenge of implementing collaborative project is that to bring everyone on the same page.
Bangladesh is a challenging environment because of the sheer number of actors that are involved.
One of the challenges ECB continually faces, how are we measuring the change?
চ্যালেঞ্জ হলো যে কোনো পলিসি চেঞ্জ একটু সময় সাপেক্ষ। লং টার্ম সলিউশন পেতে হলে আমাদেরকে খুব কনসিস্টেন্টলি স্টেডিলি আমাদেরকে পার্সু করে যেতে হবে।
The challenge is that to have a common understanding and have a common framework to move nationally in terms of accountability.
The commitment of the different member agencies to make this work was the difference. I don't think every country, the other countries had the level of support that we had from our steering committee members, our agency.
Result in better coordination, better response and more impact for the people affected by disasters.
ECBর সাথে আমাদের সমন্বয়টা ভালোভাবে হচ্ছে, আমরা তাদের সাথে সমন্বিতভাবে কাজ করছি।
ECB in Bangladesh is currently working upon the development of a shared vision, a plan for ensuring effective implementation of the activities during the remainder of the period to 2013, and then ensuring the sustainability of those achievements beyond 2013.
It can be a scalable and replicable model from Bangladesh.